Have you ever felt like you're the only sober person in the room? Like the only one that's not high there? Even though you knew that no one is high there? So that happened to me a few days ago when I went to a Japanese dance class. It was a Butoh dance class and I had no idea what Butoh was. It turned out it's a form of theatre dance. It's a modern dance and it's very much working with the body and also working with the imagination. And the first part of that workshop was very much working with the body, like imagining that, I don't know, the body is just like taking you somewhere, you know, following the movements of the body, or pretending that you're like water, that water is shifting your body and moving it and so on. And I could kind of get into that. And then the second half of the workshop, that was very much based on mental imagery. So, for example, we were asked to imagine that we've grown antlers. We've grown these huge antlers and, you know, we can feel that they're really heavy and they're really big. So you need to kind of be really careful about how you're walking. And then we were asked to imagine things like you're suddenly losing your flesh, like your whole body, and you're just a skeleton walking around with these really heavy antlers. And then there was something about imagining that you're in water. You're in water and these fish are just swimming past you, and maybe they're swimming through you, and just being in water and imagining that. And it was a series of these short imagination-based exercises, and towards the end we were kind of bringing everything together, and it was just like, now go with the flow, imagine you're in this water and you're growing these antlers and I don't know, growing wings. Like all of it, right? What have you. And at that point, that is when I started feeling like the only sober person in the room. Now, I have global aphantasia, so I cannot visualize in my mind's eye, but also I can't access any internal sense at all. So I don't have an internal sense of smell or touch or taste or hearing. I can't quite feel into things if they're very abstract. I could feel into water, like the feeling of water moving my body, because I think that's something that you experience, you know, in a bath, when in the sea, and like it's a real life experience that I can tap into. But this exercise towards the end was just completely abstract, and I was just lost. I just felt like a party pooper who's standing there looking at others thinking, really? Because I could see that clearly. I could see that they were somewhere else, that they really were in this imagery world in their head. You could see it in their eyes. They were like somewhere else, and I was the only person who was really in the here and now, in that room, looking at all the others thinking, they look kind of crazy. So yeah, so that was my experience of Butoh dance, and I have to say I was really surprised because, well, I'd never been to such a class. I didn't know what to expect, but also I was just, even though I work on aphantasia, you know, I work on aphantasia and hypnosis. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I often work with human imagination. If somebody, with visual or mental imagery, if somebody can visualize, right? And sometimes clients tell me that, oh, I've seen this and I've seen that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, wow. But this was the first time that I could actually see this contrast between how they were experiencing the class and how I, as a global aphantasic, was experiencing the class. And that made me think about two things. So the first thing was, are there any global aphantasics out there who are actors? Who are actors? And if there are, how do you do it, guys? Like, how do you, because it only occurred to me there and then that if you're doing things like theatre studies, acting, this mental imagery must be a really big thing. like for feeling into the role and so on. So I was just wondering, okay, if you're like me, you don't have any of that to tap into, how do you do it? And then my second thought was, okay, so they're all somewhere else entirely, and they need a moment to come back to reality. I've not gone anywhere. I'm in this reality all the time. And I was thinking, there must be some kind of advantage to that. There must be some kind of situation, context where it's an advantage not to be able to create this almost parallel world, but actually be present and actually see things as they really are. So I am really, really, really curious about what you guys have to say about that. If there are any actors out there with global aphantasia, tell me how you do it. And yeah, tell me what you think about this. Yeah, the advantages of actually being a very grounded, realistic thinker. And for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Paulina Trevena. I'm a hypnotherapist and researcher. I work on aphantasia and hypnosis. I also run a free Facebook group if anybody would like to join. It's called Aphantasia and... oh, sorry, what am I saying? It's called Aphantasia World on Facebook. Right, so let me know, guys. I'm really interested. And if you've ever been in this situation where you felt in a similar way, but it was a different kind of context, let me know as well. I'm really, really curious. Bye for now.